Yo, how's it going guys? Welcome back to a new video. Today's video is gonna be all about the most difficult heroes to use. In this list, we shall talk about 5 of the hardest heroes for new players to learn how to use. I'll start from number 5 all the way to number 1, which will be the hardest hero to use in the game right now. And without wasting any time, let's get straight into the video. In number 5, one of the hardest heroes to use, in my opinion, is Arnie. Back when I was a new player, having most of my heroes at supreme level or lower, I managed to unlock Arnie, and I used him for a few days without being able to make any kills with him. I just didn't understand how the hero worked at the time, and yeah, I found a very difficult time making kills with this hero. So I simply stopped using him until he reached ultimate level. And then at this point, I kind of learned how to use this hero. So Arnie, in my opinion, is definitely one of the hardest heroes to use for new players. But here's a few tips that you can apply while using this hero to get going pretty quickly. The first one is you need to get as close as possible to the enemy, because that is how shotguns work. Any distance between you and the enemy reduces the damage that you do to the hero, because some of the pellets from the shotgun are gonna go to the side and they'll be wasted. So always make sure you leave a distance of 0 between your gun and the enemy. And then another tip which you can apply here is try your best to land on top of the enemy. Most of the heroes have health of between 800 and 1700. Once you land on top of them, you're gonna do an initial damage of 300. And when you do that damage, the remaining health can be wiped out with one shot from Arnie. And then the bigger heroes might require 2 or 3 shots to take them out, but landing on top of the enemy always helps. And the third tip which I can give you here is try to switch positions during attack. So you jump, you land on top of the enemy, and then you fire your first shot when you're as close as possible to the enemy. And the fact that there's a delay between each shot allows you to just move to a different position while staying close to the enemy and fire a second shot, and that will most likely destroy the enemy. But if you don't switch position, some heroes will quickly take you out. For example, a hero like Firefly. If you're attacking Firefly with Arnie and you don't keep switching position, after your first shot, if he remains alive, his gun is going to fire very fast and take you out. So it's important to switch position as you attack. Yeah, I think that's it for the 5th hero. And then in number 4, the other hero that gave me hard time to use at first was Raven. Now Raven has low health, and at low levels his damage isn't that much, and at the same time no one really has high level gears that can increase his armor penetration. And in addition, his bullet spread while moving is kind of wide, so to find a lot of success with this hero at lower levels, you had to really be a good Raven player. And you know, Bastion is a really hard hero to kill for Raven at lower levels because of the high volume of armor. So the tip that I would give you while using Raven is first of all, you need to scan just before you make the kill, because when you scan, you end up doing a lot more damage to the revealed enemies, as long as you don't cancel the scan. And then to deal with his widespread while moving, you need to stand still to make sure all your bullets enter the enemy and destroy them. So those are the 2 most basic tips. Any new player that applies these basic tips will probably be fine. Yeah, I guess that's it for Raven. And the 3rd most difficult hero to use for new players, in my opinion, is Blot. First of all, his initial cone for his gun is quite wide, and on top of that, he has a long delay between shots. Combining that with his low health means that you need to have some level of calmness and skill to find a lot of success with this hero. The long delay between shots is not really a problem because he has his force field which can protect him, but still it can't always protect him from all directions unless he's standing in a corner. So either way, the long delay between shots becomes an issue when facing multiple enemies. Some of the tips which I would give to new players while using this hero would be to aim your gun sideways where there is no enemy, let that red cone become small, and then when it becomes small, then you turn it towards the enemy and you're gonna find much more success. And the next tip here would be take the first shot, because in most cases the enemy that you shoot at will not be able to see you at first. So once you take the first shot and the enemy discovers your position, then you put down your shield, and if they've made the very dangerous decision to come towards you, they're gonna just find a force field in front of you and then you can just finish them off. But for the most part, you will take out most small heroes and medium-sized heroes with one shot. And the other tip which I would give you is you need to equip gears which reduce aiming time. The aiming time is important here because it allows your cone to become smaller faster. So your gun basically aims down at the enemy faster, allowing you to land a lot of your shots. I guess that's it for blot. I'm just giving basic tips for these heroes because I'm currently making a hero guide series which looks at each hero in depth and also suggests possible gear combinations. I'll link that playlist in the top right corner of your screen, and if you're interested in that, you can go check it out. But as for this video, I'll just be giving basic tips which any player can apply immediately. And moving on to the second most difficult hero to use for new players, we have Cyclops. Now Cyclops is a hero that carries a long-range shotgun, and this gun by default requires you to slow down to be able to achieve its maximum range. And in general, Cyclops is definitely much more difficult to use than the other shotgun heroes. He's definitely harder to use than Sparkle, definitely harder to use than Arnie, and definitely much harder to use than Hurricane. The first tip which I would give you for Cyclops is you need to relax, because Cyclops is more dangerous than you think. And what makes him more dangerous is his last two abilities. First of all, when he hits an enemy, the enemy's weapon range is reduced by 50%, which means they can't shoot really far, and at the same time their vision is reduced by 45%. So they basically have almost half of their initial vision. This lasts for about 3 seconds. So during this time, the enemy cannot really fight back very effectively, and this makes the work easier for Cyclops. So what you do with Cyclops is you make sure you hit the enemy first, and after you land your first shot, these effects will be activated, and after that all you have to do is shoot while going backwards. Because remember, you have a long range shotgun and the enemy's weapon range is reduced with every hit. So if you shoot while going backwards, it makes it impossible for the enemy to strike you, even if it's a sniper. And then similar to Raven, when he scans, he does more damage. So always try to scan before you attack an enemy, because in that situation you're going to do a lot more damage to them. And I believe that's it. And then moving on to the hardest hero to use in the game right now is Slayer. Similar to Blot, his initial cone is quite big, and on top of that there's a long delay between his shots. When you combine that with a very low health, that means each shot he misses puts him in very severe danger, because he doesn't even have a shield to protect himself. So the tip which I would give with this hero is you can first of all aim to the side, the same tip which I gave with Blot, but in this case it's more important because when you activate your thermal vision, a crosshair appears on the enemy's head, and they even hear the sound of your thermal vision ability, so they know that you're aiming at them. But when you activate your thermal vision and aim to the side first, they might see that an ability has been activated, but they will not get the crosshair on their head, so they won't know which ability has been activated, and they won't know which hero is activating the ability. In the process of aiming to the side first, the cone of your gun is going to become very small, and then you can slowly turn it towards the enemy and take them out. This is important because it gives an element of surprise, so the enemy never gets any indication that you're aiming at them before you destroy them. And the second advantage is it allows your gun to aim, which reduces your chances of missing the shot. The other tip which I would give with Slayer is try to switch position after a kill. So every time you fire your gun, you reveal your position to the nearby enemies. So even after you make a kill, the enemy that you have destroyed immediately sees your position, and they will obviously indicate to their teammates where you are. So every after a missed shot or a kill, you can switch to a different position so that when the enemy comes to that position where you are, you're not there and you can just see them from a distance and take them out. As I said earlier in the video, there will be detailed hero guides for each of the heroes in the game, and you can always check the description or check in the top right corner of your screen to get to that playlist. With that said, I think that brings us to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. I guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade